BRUCAST is back, baby.
When ChatGPT was released, I was like, I can totally write a book with this.
Oh no.
So I challenged myself. I'm gonna write Twilight, but because people love it. I mean, it sells a lot, but with a twist, way more gore and more interesting, at least for me. So that was the plot, right? And I imagine like when the werewolves, like the werewolf, there was werewolves and vampires, right, in the original Twilight. So I imagine like they
Okay.
would kill each other. There would be blood everywhere. There would be a lot of massacre. And then I started writing it with ChatGPT, and it was fun, so much fun. I think I wrote it like a whole chapter, and I started writing the second one, and then I realized that ChatGPT couldn't keep track of the story anymore.
Oh no.
He would like, because when it's just a short amount, he kind of knows what happens like in the previous five paragraphs or something, but more than that, he just loses completely track, and I need to just keep reminding him, hey, this character was like this. Anyway, it was fun, but I realized that I also started losing track of the story. Like,
Oh my gosh.
where I'm going with all of this, and it's hard, Kat. It's hard. Um, I never, I obviously I never finished. I never wrote. I never published anything.
What
But
was it going to be called?
oh, something Moonlight.
Oh, okay.
I think I still have it. Give me like a second. Let me check.
Yeah, I am very interested in this book.
Tempted by the Full Moon.
Okay. That sounds like a romance novel.
Yeah. Uh, it's not happening, guys. It's not.
Okay. Yeah.
But even with ChatGPT, it's hard because I realized that I had no structure whatsoever. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just literally having fun and spilling out any idea that I had in my head with some AI involved. So it was a mess. Um, all of that just to ask, do you have like some type of structure when you first start with the idea of a book?
I actually get asked this a lot, and I'm always like, I wish I had more structure. I wish that I would write an outline before I start. I definitely, I always take notes and as things occur to me, and I try to put them kind of in order, but I do tend to just kind of start writing and then only much later be like, okay, I need to start, fitting an outline in there. So I don't have as much structure as I would like to, but definitely a lot of notes because, like you were saying with with your book, you do have to keep track of what the characters are like and what's going on with everybody. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so it's more like organic process basically.
yeah, a messy process.
Do you write on paper or directly on the computer?
Primarily on the computer, but I'm constantly writing down notes by hand, and then I will also sometimes write a short story or a scene by hand, just for a change, or if I'm somewhere it's not practical to have my laptop. But when I'm really kind of like deep into a novel, I can't really work by hand because there's maybe like 100,000 other words that I might want to like glance back at. So mostly computer.
Mostly computer. Do you see a difference when on your process and your creativity when you're writing by hand versus the computer?
That's an interesting question. I think that when I'm typing, I would probably often tend to do a little bit of editing of the sentence sort of right away, just because you see it typed out in front of you. Whereas if I'm kind of scrawling something down by hand, I might then wait until I'm typing it up later to adjust it. So maybe a little bit more orderly when I'm typing.
More orderly when you're typing. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I heard it from some writers that some of them they're very methodic, right? They like to just do it by hand, and some just by typing. And I heard like good arguments for from both sides. And but what we really think was interesting, like the people who said that writing by hand is better, they said it's better because it kind of forces you to be more conscious about your words, because you cannot
Mm.
as delete it as easily as you could on your computer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you can cross it out. So
You can what?
you can cross it out with your pen. And it's not, yeah, it's not exactly the same as deleting, but
That's the messy part you told us about.
yeah, that is that is the messy part.
um all right, so what I know about July. So how long did it take you to write this one?
Really long. No, I mean, probably a couple years. As the novel is set in 2015, and so that's when I started it, and then I will say probably the process of editing and doing various rounds of edits and being on submission also kind of added a lot of time to that. So probably yeah, a couple years, like maybe I don't know, I want to say like 2.5 years to write it, and then I was on submission to agents, and there was some back and forth advice like there should be more clues for this, for the resolution of the mystery. There should be fewer clues, So, and then the agent that I had at the time did just very, very thorough edits or things she wanted me to change. So that was definitely, I don't know, like 6 months or just adding a lot of time. And then also my publisher wanted more revisions, which it's always more than you think. A couple years of writing, but also probably another year or something of editing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So when you say submission, it's basically you just send a version of the book to the publisher, and they're gonna review. That's what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's very well, like I'm with a small press, so they take direct submissions. Some publishers they only want to see things through the agent, and whether agents or publishers, it's very specific about what they want to see in a submission. They might say, just send me a pitch first, and I'll ask, or send me the first 10 pages, the first 3 chapters. It's always, you know, very specific. So yeah.
What's the difference between the agent and the publisher?
Well, as I was saying with a small press, like you can just submit yourself directly to them as a writer, but otherwise, you have the big five publishers. They do not take unsolicited submissions. So if you want your book submitted to them, the agent would do that. And basically they're supposed to have contacts at various publishers, and then later on after publication they would handle rights like film rights and other subsidiary rights to your book. So they don't do any of the publishing for you, but they supposed to sell stuff for you, and so you can not have to do that.
Okay, so they do the complicated part.
Yeah, well, it's a matter of
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah, of course. I'm sorry.
It's one of the complicated parts for
One
sure.
of the complicated parts, yes.
I do not like submitting that much. So,
Hmm. Man, that's so interesting. You mentioned movie rights. So that's something that you negotiated with them when you're delivering your book, submitting your book.
well, I don't have an agent right now. So the publisher does not the film rights. I have them. So if somebody just walks up to me and wants to buy them, I'll have them. That's but yeah, all of that's kind of very specifically detailed in the contract. Film rights, foreign language, and this and that. Wait, what else you can? sell.
Damn, that's so interesting. So is it always the goal of most writers when they are developing their book to have a movie afterwards or a series? That's like our always like the end goal, at least nowadays. Is it?
I mean, for me personally, it's not like I'm, you know, I would be excited if someone wanted to make a movie of my book, but it's not like I write the book with that in mind.
Mm,
I mean, it's definitely something that, you know, probably makes books a lot more profitable compared to, because it also just gets the word out a lot about the book. And you know, if it's a popular series or a movie and everybody's heard of it. But no, I wouldn't like go into writing a book thinking about that.
okay. Yeah, I heard, I don't know where, that some writers they already write it with like a cinematic style in mind. You know, like already
Yeah.
they already write it imagining the movie.
Well, whatever whatever works for them. Yeah. It is something that people say to me a lot, like, oh yeah, like I can totally see this being a movie. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I'm not stopping anybody from from making the movie. But I'm not a filmmaker, so
Right. So if there's any filmmaker listening to us right now, what I know about July is ready.
oh yeah, yeah, good point.
Kat is here. She's waiting.
Yeah.
Uh, have you heard about Brandon Sanderson? Watch full episodes of the BRUCAST on the main YouTube channel, youtube.com/@brewfrasca.